Shalom, Michael here, Street Corner Ministering Tour of Prescott, Arizona. You know, I want to tell you that within all my heart, mind, soul, and spirit that there's something wonderful happening and going on, and you know, it's out here in the world where you see people going by and you get to conversate with them and things like this. It's really an amazing thing to see that very few are walking in the Ruach, in the Spirit. So I got a good thing about, turning the water into wine or whatever because of what happened last night. So anyway, I thought I'd give you a little bit, no more grandma's bread for me, instead of just grabbing, I give you a very, I think it's 2018, something like that when I come up with this. But anyway, Brugataw Yorubabe Lehinu Hamelakalam Pasakahim Pasakozen and Pasaklabka. May Yorubabe open your hearts, your ears, and your eyes to the message. And the hell of Dom She Bashim Shuam Shek. Oh, man. Here you go. Here's Gilbert, Arizona. Anyway, be blessed. And let's try the first song of. Came to me in 6/12/2018. This is just a rough, but I think it's going to come together. And with this, may Yahweh bless and Yeshua fill your heart. Anyway, it's just amazing. So, last night I was witnessing here in Prescott, corner of Goodwin and Gurley. Not Goodwin, Cortez and Gurley. Forget where I'm at sometimes. Anyway, this kid comes up and he's all full of joy and he said, where's the nearest liquor store? And I said, I've had no drugs, no alcohol, and no women for 18 years and 4 or 5 months. I said, and I've been away from this town since 2015. I just got back, so everything's changed. A lot of things have changed. And I said, there used to be one a block away or 2 blocks away up that way upon the hill. But I said I noticed it was closed down, so the best thing I can tell you is you got to go to Fry's or to Iron Springs Road by the hospital. There's Lloyd's Liquor, And he goes on and he goes, well, Jesus, he turned the water into wine, right? And then he goes, kept going on about thinking that drinking's okay because it's in the Bible. And I tried to tell him, well, if you look at the situation in the biblical text about what drinking is, the first part being Noah getting drunk and his son coming in and seeing his father's nakedness, and then Ham, of course, is Ham, and he gets cursed, and that's not a good thing. And the next thing is Sodom and Gomorrah. Lot's daughter, after Sodom and Gomorrah was blasted away by Yudavave and the 2 angels, and Abraham was involved in this. Lot got rescued. His daughter's, of course, Lot's wife, she gets turned into a pillar of salt. She looks back, and so it's just Lot and his 2 daughters, and his 2 daughters think that they're the only people left on earth, in a way. And so they have this idea, let's get Dad drunk on wine and we'll create an offspring. So that's the Moabites. And what'll flip you out is that, you know, that's where Yeshua comes from. I think it's his love way beyond your imagination. I'm not going into details, but if you want, you could go into details on this, and don't think nothing about, but he was slain from the foundations of the world. And so before the foundation world, it was a written out plan. And hopefully it's his plan is going to be the 1,000-year millennial here pretty soon, where we'll be filled with joy, and it's going to be way beyond your imagination. Satan's going to be bound, so there's going to be no more impure thoughts. He's not going to be able to tempt us. It's going to be amazing. And but anyways, then you got Ahab and Abihu, Aaron's sons. They bring strange fire, and they get zapped. And the next verse right after that is that don't bring strong drink into your offering, your prayer, or your fire pans, or whatever, into your temple. Basically, if you want my opinion. It says later on, if you want to spend your money on strong drink, you can on a journey, but you're not be able to interpret the text, and it don't mean that you're living a spiritual life. It means that you're tired of your slavery, so you're going to indulge in some attitude adjustment. So anyway, and then they say Yeshua turns the water into wine. I'm going to expand on it in just a second. The next thing is that no drunkard or whatever shall ever enter the kingdom. That's in Peter, Paul, in Revelation. It's all over the New Testament. And then you have Christians that says, Paul says, have a little wine for your belly. He tells Timothy that. My point being is that when Yeshua turns in the water into wine, this is very important, people. I mean, this is very, very important. Yeshua turns the water into wine. He didn't go to the store, or to the local liquor mart, or to the Fry's, or to the Safeway to buy the wine. He simply spoke the words. So, in a lot of spiritual understanding, the wine, the best wine, is the Ruach, is the Spirit. And the guy even says that, He's already, he's the head of the wedding reception. And he said the best wine is at the last. That's Yeshua. Yeshua is that wine. Remember again, it was nothing not made by man, my friend. It was made by Yeshua. It wasn't distilled. It wasn't fermented. It wasn't, packaged and bottled and dispersed out of a keg, poured over ice cubes. It wasn't none of that. Yeshua just spoke the word, told his servants to do what they did. And the guy tasted the best wine he's ever had in his life. Now, I guarantee you, the guy did not get fallen down stupor, drunk on it, It probably made him living, alive, in the Ruach, in the Spirit. So, anyway, that's enough for me. I hope that Yeshua fills all your hearts, and, anybody that comes against you in the Bible with so-called under the influence of any kind of drug, alcohol, or fungus substance, if you might say, they can be joyful and happy. They're just not going to be able to interpret the Bible properly. And, when they start getting in your face, and, he said how much he's all smiles, this guy, and he's trying to explain that, have you seen this much light? Have you ever seen this much light in anybody? And, I want you to know that, the adversary himself, the tempter, he walks around like an angel of light. So this guy was trying to get me into, back into the Christianity, Roman Catholic religion. And, he said, love your enemies, right? Well, it's hard to do, my friends. I'm not there yet. I do have the love. Jump in my face, I can take so much of it, and then I gotta walk away. So I'm not for sure, like I said, if the text is interpreted right. It's all spiritual food. We wasn't there. And Yeshua tells Peter to buy a sword. He does tell us, to love our enemy. And pray for those that persecute you. Actually, I think he says feed your enemy. Give them a drink or whatever, and pray for those that persecute you. But he does say love them. He give you a new command. So anyway, with that, remember, he didn't go to the liquor store to turn the water into wine. He just spoke the word. So it's his word that makes the water in you a joyful wine. And you don't need to go buy it. You don't need to permit it. You don't need to disperse it out of a tap. You don't need to pour it over ice. You don't even need to swirl around the glass. It's in you. Hallelujah for that. So, Baruch atah Yehovah Eloheinu hamelech haolam. May Yeshua, may Yehovah Baruch bless you, and may Yeshua fill your everlasting heart. Shalom, shalom.